A very good morning and a warm welcome to one and all present over here, teachers. Thank you so much for joining on another Super Sunday workshop, and this happens to be the last Super Sunday workshop of this year. So it's quite special from our side, and all the people who have participated. I'm quite sure that most of you are there right now during the holidays, probably the winter break in most part of the country, and most of you are probably attending this by being on the vacation. It's like it's 10 o'clock on a Sunday morning. My family is sleeping. I'm there in Ooty, Kodaikanal, Coorg, Kulu, Shimla. I don't think they're called cold places right now. I'm not sure if you're there, but you must be attending. And thank you to all the participants from the Middle East as well. Last time I mentioned, I missed mentioning you. Thank you so much for joining. So in today's session, we are going to get into some really interesting and one of the most relatable topics, which is all about staff room. It's going to be quite interesting because it's not going to be something related to that you already or something related to something very new. Everything that we're going to speak today you might already know about, just that what's happening in the current scenario, we'll discuss on that. What's happening in the trend of the discussions that happens in the staff room. We'll talk about all these things one by one. But anyways, I would like to take a moment. This is session number 93, collaborative staff room culture, the last in this year of 2024. Thank you very much for joining, teachers. It really means a lot for you to be so consistent and encourage people like us out there to be consistent. And it's like a sweet burden that we carry. I keep saying that, but anyways, we really love to do this. So the next Super Sunday workshop, it's going to be on 5th Jan, which is going to be in 2025, and we'll talk about what actually happened in 2024 with respect to education system in India. We'll try to decode some of the circulars from various boards including CBSE, ICSE or IGCSE, and understand where India has come from for the last one academic year. So that's going to be a very good session next year for sure. And this Sunday, let's get quickly into the details of collaborative staff room culture. I would like to share my screen and talk about it in detail. And I'm really excited to finalize the topic of the 100th session. If anybody out there has an interesting idea on the same, I would request you to please suggest that in the reflection form today. There's a column associated with that. Yeah, there's a column associated with that. Let me share my screen and talk about it. And today, considering this to be more like a staff room culture, it's more from SEL point of view, so there won't be any social and emotional learning point of view. So there won't be any reflection form as such. If at all there is a reflection form, I tried implementing it, but it was looking like more like an advice. What do you do in the staff room? You should behave like this. You should behave like that. No, that's not going to be the case today. Let's quickly get on to the most important and an interesting scenario. This the topic of staff room collaborative culture is directly inspired from our previous session called as gamification and learning. Gamification and learning need not be only for students, it can be for the teachers as well. They can have an interesting time in the staff room. And once it's gamified, it has got a different approach altogether. We'll talk about it. So collaborative staff room culture and practices, I would request everybody to build this. And it's going to take certain time to get into that zone of comfort with the staff room. I still remember the time when, there used to be a staff room in my school, which used to be quite huge, and almost all the teachers used to come and be there in the staff room. In fact, going inside the staff room or even passing that staff room in the corridor used to be quite a task for us. I do not know. Somehow, if you look at all the teachers individually, they all look quite approachable. But when you look everyone at the same time in a huge staff room, it kind of gets. I mean, somehow you get intimidated and you're like, okay, this is the place of wisdom where it is born. This is the place of the most interesting people, or the I would say the most read people in that school present. Like if at all the rooms have to be rated with the most intelligent room, it cannot be the principals or coordinators room if they are assigned with. It'll definitely be a school staff room. School staff room is more like, I would say, an emotion to the teachers. Definitely, I'm not sure how many of you are able to relate this, but for the teachers who have been working in a particular school for 15 years at least, 10 to 15 years, and then they continue the journey. uh, one of the most interesting goodbyes would be to the chair that you got to. And when I talk about chair, we're going to talk about chair in a more detailed manner. Let's understand this. These are some of the different types of staff room teachers. I would request you to please put it on the chat. Which one do you have it in your school? If you don't want to answer, you can skip it. It's completely fine. Okay. So the first one, here we go. One big common room with all the teachers sitting across a big table. One big common room with all the teachers, in irrespective of primary teachers, secondary teachers, PRTs, and TGTs, everybody coming across one room. That one room might be divided. That those are the secondary teachers, these are the primary teachers. Could be, but one common room sitting across a big table, maybe two or three big tables. That's it. Or this is drastically different. No rooms at all the teachers sitting in the corridors right outside the classroom. Yeah, one common big room, ma'am. Okay, that's great. No rooms at all. You have floor wise. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't categorize that. Let's check if you have the third one. Individual rooms for respective subject departments. This is quite a common scenario these days. I heard from some principals and HMs stating that when you have one common room, there's too much of chaos. There's unnecessary discussions, and we want to avoid that. So we divided the teachers into multiple chunks. Do you think it's a good idea or it's a cruelty towards teachers? I don't want to comment on that right now. Individual rooms for respective subject departments. Quite an interesting thing. Or are you having a school with the staff rooms based on the primary or the secondary school? It's like a separate one for primary, grade 1 to 5, or pre-primary to 5, and 6 to 12 on the other side. Staff rooms based on seniority. I've seen schools where the teachers come up with staff room where these are all newbies, just passed their exams of graduations or post graduations and just now entered the school premises. They are no less than another 10th or 12th standard students. So let's have separate room for them. So staff rooms based on seniority, the people who are 25 years experience, 30 years experience, let's have a separate room. Maybe they might have an assistant extra in that particular room. Yeah, I've seen that. Staff rooms based on leadership roles. This is again interesting. Coordinators, HMs, and assistant HMs, and house coordinators, people like them have a separate room, and the teachers without any category, they have a separate room. Okay. Okay, floor-wise staff rooms are there. We have staff room, even though we will sit in the corridor right outside. Oh, you have. Oh, you want to avoid all the gossips that's happening in the staff room. You prefer to sit in the classroom itself. That's a common scenario. I've heard the same from many teachers. Okay, separate, but still teachers sitting separate. Okay, staff rooms based on gender. That's basically gen staff room, lady staff room. It's quite a common scenario, especially in India. It's like I want to be comfortable with all the men out there and all the women out there. But what's interesting is the women gender, I do not know, but maybe in the southern part of the country where I am regularly going to schools most often, like I'm able to see most schools, especially the private schools, the lady teachers are dominating, and you'll see that they'll have a very good room, and one small storeroom will be allotted to men. I'm not sure if I'm relatable, where only four chairs can be placed, but 10 male staffs will be sitting over there on a rotation basis. Now it's your period. That chair is mine for the next 1 hour, something like that. So, is that relatable? Then you can just please put it out. Staff rooms based on gender. Next is something else. So something else could be floor wise. I think many people are mentioning that floor wise staff rooms are also present. That's actually a very good idea because one of the important measures taken by many management is the teachers climbing up the stairs. They've taken care. They've considered that. Finally, it's like, okay, let them not climb all the time. No, get down. Already they're walking too much, at least 100 kilometers in the classroom itself. So let's not have them climb up and down the stairs. So they have got floor wise staff rooms, and it's very easy. See, one of the key components of staff rooms placement is with respect to time. The moment the bell rings of a particular period, the next teacher has to be there. It's like 30 seconds maximum, and it should be the time taken by a child to keep the notebooks of the previous period inside the bag. And by the time they open the next book, the teacher should be already there inside. The interesting part is the previous teacher will not come out of the class, and the next teacher will be standing right outside the door. Some teachers actually what they do, they'll stand outside so that the other teacher does not see her. They're like, let them take time, aram se, let them come out, we'll go inside. But if that teacher takes undue advantage of it and continues the class for the next 10 minutes, then that teacher gets irritated. We can be a good person but not so good enough, so they'll come and stand right inside. Ma'am, will it take more time? Something like that. So these are some of the interesting aspects of staff rooms and its association with classrooms. Today, we're not going to get into the details of classrooms much, but talk about staff rooms very importantly. Well, here in this case, we separate. Okay. See, it's not about male, female getting separated or bifurcated from I would say gender point of view. It's just that sometimes just like we have two restrooms, a little extra comfort, and if this is there. If the teachers are comfortable, they can have it. Otherwise, not really required. Some of the schools that have gone in Maharashtra, they have this culture of men and women staff room separate. Especially, I remember one school. Let me not name it. A school in Latur, and an interesting school, and they had different staff rooms. So whatever I've mentioned is just a brief overview about a typical staff room that looks like, in India. And this is totally different when I start bringing the schools in the Middle East or Singapore. There are more options coming into picture. And the categories go to an extent where some people some teachers in a particular school get access to free tea, coffee, but the others do not. I'll repeat it. Some teachers get access to free tea and coffee and snacks, but others do not. I'm really happy that in India that bifurcation is not there. Either you get tea and coffee completely free of cost for everyone, or 2000 rupees is cut from your salary for one cup of tea every day. Yeah, that's there. You know that, right? Anyways, no discrimination should be there and things like that. Yeah, we're going to talk about all these things one by one. Let's go to the next one. What are some common things that are found in an Indian staff room? I think you can put that on the chat. Most of you might know this, but one common, thing that I've seen in almost every staff room that I've ever been to, that is this particular device called as a bureau. Have you seen this? It'll be one old Godrej ka bureau. It'll be present. Maybe the latch is literally broken, but still it is there. Hardly people use it, but generally, no, not hardly. I think everybody uses it. Everybody fights for it, literally. I want this, I want that. Shelves for the teacher is another aspect. But yeah, this is something which is very common. I've seen everywhere. And you know what? The color is also the same. Somehow it'll be ash or the gray color, and it'll be pigeon cupboard. You're right. You're right. You're right. Oh, air conditioner is there present. Oh my God. That's interesting. ACs and all is definitely not available in almost all the schools. It's a very rare scenario, teachers. Heating and cooling device. Maybe you have some extra this. This is another sophisticated thing. You could see a separate pantry. You'll have a microwave oven over there to heat the food that you've got, and probably a kettle to boil the water or something like that, and some cutleries out there, like the cups which will not be properly washed probably, but it's still there, and you'll have some plates, spoons, and everything. So this is another pantry section. Not every staff room has it, but there's a separate room allocated in the school for this particular area, where generally the tea or coffee, whatever it is, it's made and it's brought to the staff room. Sometimes the staff can go there and make their own tea and coffee. There's a coffee maker kept over there. So I'm just talking about both the extents of, or very simple, some principles like, just ask that guy who's right outside our school. One petty shop will be there. Ask him to get some 25 or 30 cups of tea for all the teachers. A regular scenario. That's the most simple to avoid. Yeah. Exactly. How did I miss the refrigerator? Refrigerator is another one interesting thing. Yeah. Generally, for a teacher whose birthday is going to come, you just bring the cake and just keep it inside the refrigerator, so that you can surprise them. Interesting part is the birthday teacher only will open the fridge door that day, right in the beginning itself, knowing that other teachers are coming up with a surprise. I do not know how many of you are able to. Water dispenser is another one. Writing pads, maybe not in the pantry. Oh, now you've got tables for laptops. Okay, let's go forward. Let's go forward. This is one common scenario in a staff room where you can see piles of answer sheets present out there. But I'm not sure how many of you are still with this system of, many schools have moved to AI-based content correction. Like, it's really hi-fi. Notebooks will be present. Plenty of notebooks will be present. Plenty of papers will be present. See, when you have the same things piled up at home, there are a lot of chances that the things actually gets misplaced or lost, but that doesn't happen in the staff room. You are really accountable, and you know that each and every child's notebook or a paper is properly kept in place. That level of sincerity actually doesn't come at home. That's okay. That's okay. Plenty of books. You're right. These are the lockers that we were talking about, right, Yasmin, ma'am? Yeah, absolutely. Correct. Subject-wise notebook rack. Correct. That's also there. Now, these racks look like as if they are stolen from the local bank where the lockers are. Like, it's like banks. Nobody's kept the jewels over here. Let us rent it out at least to the schools. They'll use it completely. So, yeah. This is another stay. In fact, I remember owning one of these cupboards in the staff room, which was actually allotted to my father. Yeah, so it's like I used to use this quite often. So there are 10 teachers around me opening their lockers to take out their tiffin boxes and things like that. I'm the only student opening that, taking the tiffin box for my father. So yeah, library kind of stands. You're absolutely right. Library kind of stands open, which with a lot of books and things like that, right? Now, these are some of the common things in the staff room, but there's one thing in the staff room for which there's a war that happens. Literally, it's just like a child. I mean, I'll tell you how important this is. I think this should be relatable to most of you. If not, then do let me know. Maybe I'm still in an old generation. Now, what I'm talking about is this particular chair or this particular chair. I'm not sure how many of you are able to see the difference over here. Exactly, Saida ma'am, you're right. We're talking about the chair. So here there is no difference. Come on, there's a huge difference in the chair. Can somebody tell me what is the difference between these two chairs? And there's a wall. Especially people pull the chair. They'll be like, you keep it in your place, but no, they'll take it away. Exactly, you have got the armrest. Yeah, people fighting for the arm. This particular stuff. You have this over here. So that used to be there, and I deliberately took the wired chair. I do not know what are they called, as coir or wire, whatever it is, with and without armrest. So some senior teachers will be, not some, almost all the senior teachers will be given with chairs which has the armrest, and the teachers who just joined day before yesterday, they'll be given one plastic chair without even armrest, maybe a stool at times. I'm just exaggerating these teachers. I'm pretty sure this is not the case in many schools, but still, the point is there is a war. There is a war. Just imagine you go to a class. Okay, you go to a class and students are sitting. There'll be one child in the class will be very naughty and say that, ma'am, I'll always sit only in this bench. You see, I've even carved my name over there. This is Abhijit, and Abhijit will sit here only. This is the last bench of the class. I want it. There you act as if you're saying that no, whichever bench you sit, it's completely okay. Whatever I say, that is correct. And the child has to listen to you. The moment you come to the staff room, it's exactly the same. You look at your chair and you're surprised that it's already changed by one senior teacher. I've seen these things happening. I'm just not naming the teachers. If my teachers who used to teach me are there in this session right now, I'm pretty sure you understand that I'm talking about you only. Correct. Another one is cushion chairs. Yeah, cushion chairs, revolving chairs. These are expensive. I'm not sure how many schools are for this. In India, majority of the schools will have these wire chairs only. Anyways, let's go forward. Let's go forward. Let's go forward. So what we're going to get into is right now staff room, where we are going to talk about collaboration. Now, why is it important? See, staff room need not be a place where I would say it need not be just a place of rest. It can really create a lot of magic in the school. See, every time whenever you come to a particular school, or I would say any working environment, you come for a certain reason. Now, this particular reason has got its own values. For example, I come to the school because I love my children. It's a very generic thing, and probably it is on the top. But immediately, something even more important than the children that makes you come to the school is probably the person to whom you're reporting to. Probably it could be a coordinator, yeah, or it could be your HM, or it could be a principal, or right after students, the principal or the coordinator, it goes to the next level. I come to the school because I really like this colleague of mine who has become a very close friend. We both share the same native place, so I really like her. So that becomes another reason. Now, when you pile up all these reasons of coming to the school, you'll understand that one of the key reasons to come to the school, apart from the people, it's actually the place where you sit and relax. It's like your mini home, a temporary home where you can just go back, relax for few minutes. Few minutes, I literally make sure that it's few minutes because hardly you get 1 or 2 free periods, and that creates a lot of importance. It's subconscious. Not many people realize this, and that is the reason we have taken up this topic today. Now, why do you come to staff room? Staff room is a place of or to relax during those rare 1 or 2 free periods. Just about Radha ma'am is sitting in the chair, and immediately there's an announcement in the staff room stating that Radha ma'am, there's a substitution period arranged. Please go to this class, 6th A, something like that. Radha just sat in the chair, and the chair is like, Radha, just don't leave. You just sat with me, and chair has to say bye to you, something like that. But for those 2 minutes that you sat in the chair, that you know that this is the place allotted to me, right? Let's go forward. Go back to your small one chair home. That's interesting, right? One chair home during those 7 to 8 hours of work. In fact, even 9 these days. School days have changed a lot in the last 10, 15 years. This is no less than a corporate where you have to work for 9 hours, sometimes more than that. The first period starts somewhere at 7:45 or 8 o'clock in most schools, especially in the place where I belong to, where I come from, and it ends at around 3:30, something like that. Yeah, so around 7 to 8 hours. Oh, you've got cubicles. Are you working at Infosys or something like that, ma'am? No? No free periods, substitutions. Okay, let's go on. Prepare for the next period. This is another area where you generally go and you prepare for the next period. I remember teachers these days, generally back in those days, they used to open the book and read, but now it's on YouTube. Next class, you want to teach this, you immediately take up YouTube. You have a favorite YouTuber who's talking about the same lesson, and you'll be like, quick revision of what we are going to teach. That's a very good method of lesson planning. I kind of like it. Next is celebrate a colleague's birthday or retirement. Staff room is another beautiful place of, I would say, irrespective of the diversity that we come from, science teachers, max teachers, a teacher from Tamil Nadu, a teacher from Jammu and Kashmir, everybody will be there in a particular room. And that's interesting with respect to schools. Not only the students are diverse, even the teachers these days are. So celebrating anything that comes across. In fact, potluck is also one important point. I'm going to talk about it. Acha, mobiles are not allowed. Okay. No, I'm not going to start any controversy over here, but okay. I'm going to come up with a very genuine response to that in a little like some time. Gossip about the latest meeting or an announcement made by the principal or a political issue. So the moment you come to the staff room, some people don't even come to the staff room just because there are these group of teachers who will sit and gossip about the latest announcements in the school. Do you do that? Obviously, you have to say no right now. Yeah, you have to say no, but internally you know that you do that, and it's completely fine. According to me, it's like it's a place to unwind. It's a personal opinion. To unwind, and somewhere I strongly believe it. Like gossiping is really important. The more you gossip, you come to know that how good you are treated or how bad you are treated, and eventually good gossips begin to erupt and bad gossips just go away. Somewhere gossips are really important according to me. You need to talk. The more you talk, you'll come up with ideas, and which is for or against the policy. We can report it to the management. So we thought about it, maybe this is not the right policy. Could we change it, ma'am? Could we change it, ma'am? Something like that. Anyways, let's go forward. Every Wednesday there is a stay back for all staff. Yeah, I've seen that many schools. This is interesting. Staff room is a place for a quick nap. Now, once CCTV came into the staff room, I think that nap has gone away. I remember the times when I have seen my teachers, they're exhausted, 35 minutes of continuous shouting, and they come back. Especially, I remember my English teacher and social teacher, they come back and they quickly take a small nap. They just dig themselves inside and they're like, let me quick nap. But unfortunately, that nap is not possible these days. You're already occupied for all the 8 or 9 periods that are allocated to your school. And there used to be this time where, you know, um, like teachers prefer to have their breakfast or lunch in the staff room during the free periods. A free period before or after the, I would say, the break, they immediately prefer to have. Why? So that they can spend a little extra time by relishing or cherishing the rare tiffin that you get actually. Otherwise, it's always on a hurry. And especially if it is a break time, there are times when the principal calls and says that spend 10 minutes in with these guys. Some people have come, please talk to them immediately. So that again takes away your time of break and you have to go to the next class. It's completely understandable, but the point is the teachers do that. So a quick nap, a quick breakfast, it gets really irritating if this happens at your school or not. Just think about it. The vice principal or the principal will come and stand in the staff room. They'll be just outside the staff room looking at all the teachers, right after the bell. The bell just now rang during the break, and the principal or the vice principal is standing in the staff room and looking at everyone. It's already bell. Why are you not going back to your class? They won't speak. The stare is enough. I do not know if this happens, but if it happens, then it used to happen in my place. Correct the answer sheets is another interesting thing that the staff room people do, and they crib about it. What this child, I've spoken to him so many times, I've taught him so many things. Still, he has written a song on the paper, something like that. Camera is also there in the staff room. This is one of the interesting scenarios that happen in the staff room teachers. Please tell me if you're able to relate this. You lose your red pen and then suspect your colleague friend taking it away. Have you done that? Say, yeah, ma'am, it's like there was a red pen. I just kept it away. I'm pretty sure this would have been taken by Sarita. She always does that. Something like that. Interestingly, Sarita would have actually taken it. So these are some of the places where staff room culture, or I would say, it becomes an interesting place to remember for a longer period of time. You'll not remember what lessons did you teach the children. You'll remember these nice things. They don't return the pen exactly, exactly. The other person, the other teacher in the staff room will be like, "Hey, don't keep your pen here. She will always take it. Better keep it here. See, I do that only." Karke, she will tell. So all these things. So just like I would say, students in a classroom is exactly equal to staffs in a staff room. There's no change in the behavior. It's just that The adults, like the so-called adults in the staff, they don't express immediately, but the children express immediately. There is more authenticity in the classroom than the authenticity in the staff room. I think you are able to accept with this point. Okay. Oh, some people even write their name. Nisha, ma'am, you do that. Write their name on the pen. That is the next level. Finish your breakfast or lunch during the free periods itself so that you're comfortable having it. Sometimes people feel uncomfortable to have their breakfast or lunch with the other teachers. One reason could be that somebody else will come and pick your tiffin, or sometimes it's lack of confidence or insecurities and things like that, which is kind of acceptable. It's completely fine. What's wrong in that? Yeah, let's take it up. In fact, don't give the cap of the pen is another very big issue. I'm really irritated with that. I've seen that so many times. Like, yeah, they lose the cap. How irresponsible. You can't do that. You lose the pen itself, that's completely fine, but not the cap. That's bad. Anyways, I'll tell you something very interesting. Vegetarians and non-vegetarians, sometimes that happens with. See, I've seen one very interesting scenario. The principal is shouting at the teachers like anything. Like in the previous half an hour, he's like, "How dare you do this? You should have prepared the lesson plan. You should have been on time to the school and things like that." Immediately during the break time, after 3 or 4 periods, when the break happens, the principal comes to the staff room, and the person to whom he actually scolded, he'll go, especially during the break, he'll go and pick whatever is in the tiffin. Ma'am, can I take that? I want to taste it a little bit. Absolutely, ma'am. Why not? The moment you do that, there is a bond that is created. Like whatever happened in the principal's room, that's profession. You were supposed to be on time. That's following rules and regulations, and that's my job. But staff room, no. This is a place of interaction. It's a place of collaboration. And taking that piece of chapati or idli from the tiffin is an indirect way of communicating, saying that I'm really sorry if I was harsh. That's the way of a leader talking to the teacher. I hope you're able to relate this. If yes, then please put it on the chat. Second aspect of, if the principals do not do that, they'll come to the staff room, they'll simply sit and crack some random jokes. It'll not even land properly, but still they'll crack. It's because they read somewhere that I need to do this so that I bond with the teachers. But it has to be an intrinsic quality, according to me. A leader going to the teacher has to be with a lot of empathy. It really takes a lot of efforts. It's not easy being a leader, especially in a school setup, because teachers have got their own points. Management will have their own points. The leaders are the people who are kind of sandwiched between these 2 points, which are drastically opposite to each other. Especially during the increments, this happens. Anyways, okay, principal. Okay, done. Let's go to the next one. Finish your breakfast or lunch during the periods. Potluck is another interesting thing that happens. So potluck is like everybody, once a month, or I'm not sure how luxurious your life is. If you're really luxury, then in that case, every week you can have a potluck, something like that. Some teachers wait only for the potluck. They'll be like, okay, I'll buy Fanta, I'll buy Mirinda, especially the male staffs. I'm going straight away at the male staff. I'm just kidding, but you can see that they'll buy chips, Lays ka packet. Yeah, something like that. I've done that in my office. Yeah, correct. Sandwich. Okay, potluck. Let's go forward. Let's go forward. There are a lot more with respect to staff rooms, teachers. There are a lot more. CCTV cameras are installed in the faculty area. Samosa party is another interesting thing. Yeah, you're right. Share their tiffin and staff room during recess. Exactly, that happens. See, the staff room is a place of a teacher's emotion. It's not just about these activities. All these activities put together, summed up together, will actually contribute, I would say, to the most important aspect of a human's life, and that's emotion. It's not about knowledge. Every teacher comes up with their own knowledge. It's not about the skill. Every teacher comes up with their own style of teaching, and both the knowledge and skill is actually applied inside the classroom. But the third important aspect of a human's life, which is all about attitude or emotions, is majorly felt with a place like staff room. So I consider staff room to be a temple, no less than a temple, and you don't understand its value when you're there in the staff room right now. But once you come out of it, that big room, maybe small in size, but the life that it has given is big. You might miss it a lot, especially after retirement. Let's go forward. Let's go forward. So one of the key aspects for teachers to be really connected with the school, for them to come to school apart from all these activities that we were mentioning, is staff room could be spacious. Now it has to be spacious. It's very important. There are schools who have taken the step. The management is not giving sufficient rooms in the school, so they've considered one of the classrooms to be the staff rooms. They've done that. They've done that. But having a separate room is very, very important. Worst case scenario, if it's not happening, please go to the office or administration, ask for few chairs over there, and you form your own, corner of the school, but sit together. It's important. These are things that are happening actually. Unlimited supply of refreshments, tea, coffee, some snacks, energy bars. This has to be there in the school. There needs to be a separate budget allocated for this every day. I think it'll not take more than what 2K or 3K per day, and that's still fine. It's okay. Let the teachers have it. uh, Teachers do take undue advantage of it. I'm pretty sure some management members or the principals who are there in this session are thinking, I have done that, sir. They take away all the chocolates to their home, sir. I know that that happens. Initially that will happen, teachers. Initially that will happen. But over the period of time, how many chocolates will you take back home? How many chalk pieces will you take back home? There'll be a point where you will stop it. And if multiple teachers, in fact, there'll be instructions, don't take these chocolates home. Yeah, this is only for you to release right now, something like that. Yeah, we need to be, as I told, teachers in a staff room is pretty much equivalent to students in a classroom. So that'll happen. You come up with measures to avoid it, but do have the supply. Most staff rooms do have newspapers. That's interesting. So not a new thing. With some indoor games. Now this is a very rare scenario, but I've seen in some schools where they've got indoor games. For example, carom board. I've seen chessboard being present, Ludo, snake and ladders. Snake and ladders. You might think, are you a child? No, actually, even as an adult, you can still start playing snake and ladders. It's kind of good. I mean, chess still requires some brain functionality. We have done enough of brain function at the classroom. Let's not do that in the staff room. But snake and ladders, simple. You just have to roll the dice and move the coin, and you love it. The next period will be more interesting. There's humor added into your life with games. Dartboard. Dartboard is that bullseye sort of a board wherein multiple circles are there. You have a magnetic dart. You just throw at it, and it goes and gets stuck at the point. You can have a competition. Like there are 5 teachers sitting in the staff room right now, who are all free. Come, let's not prepare what we've been teaching the same thing for last 5 years. Come, we will be able to manage the class. Why don't we play a little game? Dartboards can be really good. Maybe the teachers might have a shoulder pain after throwing it, considering the age factor. I'm really sorry to be offensive like this right now, but it's very genuine. I've seen that happening. Basket and a ball is another thing where you have a small basket. It's not basketball court as such, but a basket and a ball, a small one you can just throw and play with it. Some teachers throw paper balls in the dustbin. When the same thing happens by the students in the classroom, you just write their names on the board as the most naughty boy or girl. But you do that in the staff room. Yeah, when I say you, I hope the teacher who did that, whom I saw, is present in the session right now. Okay. So, anyways, so in fact, having the PT room very close by near the staff room could actually do magic. It could work because PT rooms have got multiple. Some of you must be like, I don't have PT rooms. That much luxury we don't have in a school. No, still, there'll be a space allocated for sports items to be present. Just grab some of them. If PT sir is scolding you, go and complain to the principal. But please take it. Yeah, you could actually take it. Plenty, including music room, by the way. Yeah, PT room and music room. If they both are there nearby, it's great. Plenty of novels and reference books are very, very important to be there. In the classroom, in the staff room. And there is one very good activity that we're going to talk about called as book swap. Now, book swap is not about novels. Oh, sorry, not about the subject books, but it's about novels. A teacher getting engaged with a romantic novel rather than a subject, book. I don't want to read R.D. Sharma all the time. Let me read. Let me not suggest anyone right now. Otherwise, it'll unnecessarily it'll be as if I'm branding someone. But no, the point is novels could be there. Next is computers with internet access in a staff room is quite a luxury. Not many people have it, but many school has laptops allotted to the teachers. That's a good idea. I think most of you carry the laptop, right? If not, then computers could be there. If a computer lab is there nearby the staff room, see, when I mention nearby, it's all about the time, right? Yeah, that could be easy. A teacher can go quickly refer something. If computers and laptops both are not there, at least have the mobile phones in your hand. You need to do research. You need to use chat gpt. You need to keep on looking at YouTube videos on what's happening around, so that that example could be given to the students on the concept that you're teaching today. Yeah. A place to place the views. Now this is interesting. In a staff room, you could have a separate sticky note area or a whiteboard or a blackboard where you can talk or mention something on the board. Something like, I really like this particular school's atmosphere because of so and so reason. Second point could be, I really did not like the latest circular just because it's a part of the rules and regulations, and I'm a teacher in the school. I'm supposed to follow this. You can write that. So this place to place views, maybe you can be anonymous if you want to, but CCTVs are there, whatever it is. But that could be a very good way of communicating. Yeah, it's like sending a subtle message in a most polite manner. Ki I'm not or I am liking this. Multiple recognition leads to better interaction. Most of the problems arise only because there's no proper communication established. That's what Tuckman was also talking about. What was Tuckman? Who's Tuckman? We'll talk about this right after this slide. A place without CCTV cameras is my personal opinion. According to me, as I said before itself, I really would like to see a staff room which does not have a CCTV camera, so that you can gossip, so that you can talk, so that you can unwind and speak. That's completely fine. We are all, I should say this, we are all matured enough to understand what kind of language a teacher should use in a staff room, how to avoid the conflict. I think that could be done. However, managements and the school leaders will have a very, very genuine reason for why CCTVs are present in the staff room. So if at all it's convincing to you, you live with it. If not, you don't have a choice, you still live with it. You know that, right? Otherwise change the school. And you can't do that. Let's not do it. That should not be the reason for somebody to change the school. Okay, suggestion corner or box sort of a thing. You're right, Shweta ma'am, absolutely. Yeah, you would have seen that in Naik movie, right? No, not what is that movie? Yeah, suggestion box. Yeah, I've seen that. Mudalvan in Tamil. Okay, anyways, workstation with each other. Correct, correct. Proxy books are also there. Attendance. Okay. I'm just looking at your chat right now while using the free period. Okay, so all the teachers carrying laptop. Oh wow, Jayalakshmi ma'am, interesting. Library is there. Reading area is a must for staff room. Come on, staff room itself is a reading area. You want a separate reading area? Okay. Talk to your principal. What I want to see her reaction. I'm just saying. You do Antakshari. Okay, that's great. Let's go to the last part of our session today, teachers. Almost the last. And this is some activities to encourage collaboration. Wait, I'll stop share the screen. See, one of the important why was this topic even selected? It was found that the productivity of a particular school or the academics or the way the school function, the functionality of a school and its progress was directly related not to the performance of a teacher with the students, but to the collaboration that the teachers had among themselves. Good collaboration with very positive outcome leads to a longer sustenance in the school or lesser attrition rate. It's very important to know that teachers in a school do not share a mechanical bond with anyone. It's like I work here like a robot today and I leave. No, it cannot be the case. The job of a teacher predominantly with the students who don't even understand what's mechanical bond, they are all connected with that particular teacher emotionally. This emotion gets formed with the children and fellow colleagues only after spending a certain amount of time or certain number of collaborations. After doing all those things, if a teacher moves out, just because the collaboration didn't happen in the right manner, something like that. Again, a new teacher coming up and building the relationship and things like that, it's going to create multiple gaps among the school leaders, the teachers, and even the students. Hence, it's very important for us to understand that each and every step taken uh, within a classroom for development of a student, it's equally important for us to take similar steps for the development of the bond between the teachers. We also need to make sure that these bonds that we have with the teachers is not like she's the best friend of my life. I found him, he's going to be the life partner for me, something like that. And I've seen that, and what I've seen that I am the result of the formation, or I got formed because one sir met a ma'am in a staff room, something like that. So the point is, it's not, I'm not encouraging something like that, but that happens. And the point is, this collaboration is really important, and you need to make sure you take all the efforts to nurture that particular bond. There are a lot of disputes in the staff room. We have a separate session conducted on staff room politics as well. But I really feel that the bond should be there. And for that, there are these activities. Now, these activities could be taken up like based on the school leadership. They have their own method of taking. NCRT has also suggested a lot of activities for teacher bond. But these are some of them which I have mentioned over here with the minimum research that our team did the last 1 week. One is pair a 52 with 25. Now, pair a 52 with 25, if it's offensive, 52 is too much. You can make it pair a 42 with 24, 32 with 23. Yeah, something like that. But I don't think anything less than that is possible or more than that is possible. But the point is a senior teacher interacting with a junior teacher. something like a buddy program. You are absolutely right. You're absolutely right. This could be for a whole class observation. Yeah, this could be for a class observation. A junior teacher is looking at it, or it could be a one-on-one session on a certain area of curriculum, pedagogy, or assessment. Generally, now I've seen this one-on-one session on a certain area of curriculum agenda will be how to teach. For example, I'm just coming up with random names. Sumitra ma'am, who's extremely experienced, is teaching. Shushmita ma'am, who is just newly joined in the school. The idea is she's going to tell Sushmita on how you're supposed to teach, what are curriculum frameworks in the country, what etc. 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 Only 5 minutes that discussion will happen. Rest of 1 hour where this was actually planned, 55 minutes the discussion will be on, hey, this lady is like that, hey, that lady is like that, that man is like that. You make sure that you be like this, be like that. Body program is a super hit in this particular area of discussion. I'm not sure if this happens, but I'm pretty sure it'll happen a little bit, and it's kind of interesting. There's a bond created. Work towards one capstone target over a week and announce the best pair of the week. So what happens is, if there are 10 pairs formulated this month, these 10 pairs will have a target of submitting something by the month end. And I'm sorry, and they have to make sure that the project is complete and they submit to the principal or in front of all the teachers. We could have an arena, but something to gamify, something to reach upon. If I do that, my 2% increment is guaranteed with this. Another two more activities, two more percent, something like that. Yeah, and the maximum percentage of increment is say 18 to 20%, something like that. You can mention that in the paper itself. This is extremely good for the leaders or the coordinators. I'm just saying increment to be one small factor. It could be anything. Book swap. Now, this could be a novel or another subject book. Break the monotony of the discipline you belong to. It's very important to understand that a teacher, especially in the K-12 segment, at least till 8th standard, irrespective of whatever subject you specialize in, whatever discipline you specialize in, you should have a decent amount of up to 80 to 85% knowledge of other subjects as well. I'll repeat it. I will repeat it. This is very powerful and very, very important. A teacher in a K-12 segment school, a teacher in a K-12 and KG to 12 standard should have, irrespective of the discipline that they specialize in. I'm a maths teacher, I'm a science teacher. This is the specialization. Irrespective of that, you should have at least till 8th standard the subject knowledge that is present till 8th standard, at least 80 to 85% of it. It's really important. Those are the basics. Book swap could be one very good method for that. You're given with 1 month time or a week's time, you need to make sure that you complete that particular book, maybe 2 or 3 chapters. A social science teacher can allot those chapters to the other teacher, saying that, ma'am, read the civics chapter. It's very important for the upcoming elections. You will get a very good picture. I'm pretty sure almost, I'm not sure, but let me give a random number. 70% of the people out there in this session might not know what is the structure of a parliament. I'm pretty sure about it. Yeah, very difficult. But a social teacher will know about it. So it's important for everybody to know about the structure of a parliament, right? Seventh, eighth standard. It's there in the civics book. Let the social teacher guide the other teachers. Book swap. Book swap plays an important role in not only your discipline development, a broad mindedness. I'm coming to the next point also. Morale boosters. Morale boosters is all about non academic recognitions. Now, this is very much similar to a scientific model, which I'll show you in a few minutes. Non academic recognitions, like she's good at singing. She's a maths teacher, but what is her name? Pranita is really good at singing, something like that. This particular lady, oh, Abhiti, is an excellent dancer, something like that. I really like this. It could be in the form of a did you know board. So I've seen in one of the schools where there is a staff room where there is a did you know board where it's written like, did you know Hira ma'am is an excellent dancer? Check this news about her. And you can probably add the Facebook link or a picture or something like that, a screenshot. That could boost your morale. I would like to quickly talk about it before we jump on. There's going to be a topic on ethics and integrity very soon. Teachers, listen to me. Ethics and morale, you know, how are they different? Are they really different? It's quite interesting. See, when you talk about you should never lie, you should never lie. What does it categorize under? Is it a moral or is it an ethic? Come on, tell me. You should never lie. You should always speak the truth. Is it a moral or an ethic? You can put it on the chat. Come on, we're there in the last part. Is it a moral or an ethic? Okay, it's a moral. Some people say it's ethics. Okay, you should never lie. You should always speak the truth. Okay, moral. Okay, you'll be surprised. It's actually a moral. It's not an ethic. So when you talk about a moral, it's more like you should always speak the truth. Now there is also another moral stating that you should be very loyal to your friend. So you have another friend, and that friend is like a very close friend of you. And you should be loyal to your friend. That's another moral. Now here in this case, immediately what happens is this particular friend has done something and you are in a position to mention about this to your principal. Now here in this case, there are two morals conflicting each other. One saying that you should always be truthful, second, you should be loyal to your friend. But unfortunately in this situation, you're supposed to actually complain about your friend to the principal. Would you do that? Would you do that? The answer for this particular question, if it's yes or no, directly categorizes under ethics. I hope you're able to understand the difference between moral and ethics. In fact, this is called as ethical dilemma. Too much? Yeah, this is going to come in the upcoming Super Sunday session. Not right now, but eventually it will come. I think the following Sunday, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, moral and ethics, moral boosters. Nice, right? Anyways, in fact, this is wrongly mentioned in CBSE in one of the books in the chapter of AI ethics. I'll talk about that later in some time else. Let's debate is another interesting. Teacher debate is an interesting way of knowing the viewpoint from multiple perspectives, enabling broad-mindedness among fellow staff members. See, making you would have seen that in colleges you have got opinion polls and things like that, especially during the election time. Here we are going to talk about debates, literally some controversial topics, not from the perspective of creating problem between teachers, but from the perspective of making sure everybody speaks. This will give a very good understanding for the leaders out there, which teacher is really informed, which other teacher is, and the other teachers will come to know, oh my god, I really need to prepare on this, I need to look at the news. Debate is the best. The only thing is you need to follow the ethics of debate. You need to make sure that you don't carry the same grudge after coming back. Students do not do that. I told you, right? There's more authenticity in the students do not do that, but teachers do that. So debate is a very sensitive thing, but if you can manage it, monthly one debate on a certain topic, NEP is good or bad, finish. It'll be amazing. Yeah. And make sure it's confidential. Okay. Anyways, ensure to recognize the best speaker. Yeah. So there's be something like gamification over here. That's the reason that particular point. House level collaborations. House level means each house to have teachers from all the subjects. If it's a blue house or green house, some people have leaders names out there. This is Tagore house, this is Subhash Chandra Bose house, this is Ambedkar house, and things like that, right? So in each house you should make sure there's maximum diversity outside. So each house to have teachers from all the subject, each house to have teachers from all the geographical areas. Blue house got the teacher from both JK, Gujarat, the Seven Sisters, and even from Kerala and Tamil Nadu. That's interesting, right? Something like that. So house level collaborations. Make sure everybody keeps interacting. That's the point. Anyways, we are coming to the last part of the session, teachers, and these are some of the models for collaboration. Whatever we spoke before, these are all something related to that we can do on a day-to-day basis. And some people have drafted this in the form of a document. One is Bruce Tuckman, and the other guy is where is he? Okay, there's a video right after that. I'm going to talk about it. Wenger's communities, correct. I completely forgot. Yeah, here it is. So please watch this video, teachers, before we close. It'll give you a very good perspective on how to build teams.
A great team doesn't just happen. Every great team takes time to reach its potential. In the process, it has to pass through various stages of team development. Some leaders see it as a problem while the most aware leaders see it as an opportunity. Rick was leading a business unit at a leading manufacturing organization. Rick was extremely happy when he noticed that his new recruits are quite friendly with each other. To his surprise, within a few months the same members started having issues with each other. Rick was confused, so he approached his boss for guidance. His boss said, "Congratulations, Rick." Rick got curious after listening his boss's words. Rick knew exactly what was happening when he heard the next words from his boss. Rick's boss referred to the popular Bruce Tuckman's model of team development, a journey that every team goes through after its formation. In first stage, members are very polite to each other. Some members adopt a highly courteous behavior. Some feel confused due to unclear objectives. Conflicts are avoided. As people begin to work together, they make efforts to know each other. Leaders play the teller role. That means, direct instructions from the manager prove to be helpful at this stage. In second stage, members push each other against the work standards and they start to express their suppressed feelings about the other members, processes, or even bosses. Different people adopt different styles of work in difficult situations. Such behaviors give rise to conflicts. Leaders play the role of a coach in this phase. Leaders make efforts to use conflicts to set new standards. In third stage, people start to resolve the differences between them. Members start to acknowledge the efforts of each other. Team develops a stronger sense of commitment towards the goals. New standards and norms come into light. Here, leaders play the role of a facilitator. Leaders step back and enable the member to take responsibility. Finally, a team reaches the fourth stage of performing. Members know clearly what they are supposed to do. Team has a very clear vision. Leaders delegate and oversee the progress. New leaders emerge and take up full responsibility for running the show. Fifth stage starts once the team achieves its vision and the purpose of forming that team is achieved. Organizations disbands the team and members move on to different assignments. It is important to recognize and address the feeling of insecurity among members if there is any. Leaders can help the team members by guiding them onto a new journey. In the context of corporate teams, every time a member leaves or a new member joins a team, this cycle starts again. Sometimes a team may move back to the previous stage due to any uncertain situation. Hence, it is important for the leaders to know that at which stage the team is in, and what type of leadership will help the team most.
Okay, great. So that was Tuckman's model, and Tuckman's model is about you know it's about the process of team that gets formed. It's not something that you can control much, but if you know these stages, it'll be easy for you to manage the team pretty well, and that's why it's interesting for the leaders out there. In fact, let me share my screen. So this is going to look like this: forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. That's what they try to present in the video as well. The interesting part is when you know that a new teacher is joined in the school for the first time, everybody behaves really well. Initial 1 week, that's it. After that, the teacher starts feeling that why did I even join the school? You'll make sure that happens, right? That comes somewhere under storming. So basically, forming is the place where there's a lot of agreement, and they kind of polite to each other. But once people start sharing their opinions, then you start judging the other people and the other person. It's completely fine. So it's important to come into a consensus, right? Okay, you say this, I say this. We both don't agree with the same points, and that's okay. Let's agree somewhere on the pathway. Okay, let's agree. Let's try. And proving to agree is completely fine because that's where new ideas erupt, right? So that's storming. And then once you start getting agreeing back again, that becomes norming. And once the norm is set, the norm, maybe that's why it's called as a norm. Nice, no? So maybe once the norm is set, then you perform. And that's the best team. So that's why it takes really a long time for the leaders to build that relationship. In fact, if a teacher or if one of the team members actually go out and another person joins, again you have to do the complete process right from the beginning. It happens. So there's a good the idea to identify the problem in a particular team. So this is basically Bruce Tuckman's model of team development. So there's another model basically, and this is I'm not really going to play the video as such. Wenger's communities of practice. Okay, so basically Wenger's communities of practice is all about uh, a club that could be formed in the school, which is about a particular interest, common shared interest. I know I'm a social teacher, but I really like dancing. And in the same school, I've got a maths teacher who's good at dancing. So there's a separate club organized with Teachers Club of Dance, something like that. And all the teachers who are interested in that club can be part of it so that they can organize events or at least look up to something that they really like, apart from. See, it's very difficult to tell people that whatever you're interested in, become that. I really love photography. It's not photography, but I'm not having a camera right now. But whenever there is a club who talks about, hey, I have a camera right now. Why don't you come along with me this weekend? Let's go take some snaps. I'm interested. I don't want money out of it. So communities of practice is a genuine group or a club where the teachers can sit together and talk about one common topic, and that's why it's called as community, right? Anyways, that brings me to the end of the session, teachers, on staff room culture and its collaboration. I think you would have realized its importance up to a certain extent. Mostly the points were quite like relative and relatable, I would say, to everyone out there. But you would have realized that a little bit of collaboration is actually important, especially the book swap of different subject, 42 to 24 or 52 to 25. That could be another important point. Having a carom board in the staff room is an interesting thing. Potluck is an interesting thing. Yeah. So let's if at all there are leaders out there, I would request you to please continue on these practices, which you do actually. Christmas party, I have seen many schools, they've been enjoying like anything. So good that it's happening, but the point is collaboration. How much ever it happens, still there is dispute, and that's the place of birthplace of politics, I would say, which creates uncomfortable scenario to many teachers out there. Let's avoid that. That is the reason the session was mainly taken up. So that brings me to the end of the session on staff room culture, collaborative staff room culture and practices. Thank you very much for joining on this Super Sunday workshop, teachers. I really feel special in this Sunday, considering this to be the last session this year 2024. We're going to come up with very good topics in the next year and new models of Super Sunday Workshop. We'll make sure that every Sunday 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. is short, crisp, to the point, and a topic that's very, very relevant to a school system, especially to the educators. It can be attended by almost all the family members. That's a different story. But the point will be to make sure we talk about the education system, especially in India, but also a little bit from global perspectives. So, a happy new year to one and all present over here, teachers. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next Super Sunday workshop. Until then, Jai Hind. Bye, everyone. Thank you very much. Happy New Year. Savitri ma'am, thank you so much. Happy New Year. Geeta ma'am, thank you. Thank you. Triveni ma'am, Niva ma'am, everyone. Nisha ma'am, Padmini ma'am, thank you so much. Sukhdira ma'am, good to see you. Thank you so much. Naya Saal Mubarak. Jai Hind. Parita ma'am, thank you so much. Thank you, Sharada ma'am. Meenal ma'am, thank you. Thank you. Mamta ma'am, Rajeshwari ma'am, Jayashree ma'am, Srilekha ma'am, Bindu ma'am, thank you. Thank you. Pooja ma'am, wish you the same. Wish your family members Happy New Year. Thank you very much. Dipjani ma'am, thank you so much. Dr. Parag, thank you so much for joining, ma'am. Happy New Year to you as well, and your team actually. Thank you, Rudra ma'am. Tina ma'am, thank you so much. Suman ma'am, thank you, thank you. Santosha ma'am, thank you. Yeah, Iniya Puttanda Nalvalthukal. Bindu ma'am, thank you very much. Sangeeta ma'am, thank you. Ritu ma'am, thank you. Sanjay sir, Kalpana ma'am, Rosaline ma'am, compliments. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Sunanda ma'am, thank you. Looking forward to meet you in 2026. No, 2025. Come on, that's a spelling mistake there. Come on, correct it. Thank you, thank you. The cakes are falling out. Okay. Garima ma'am, thank you so much. Kumari ma'am, Vandana ma'am, thank you, Deepthi ma'am. Absolutely, Deepthi ma'am. That's my responsibility. I'll make sure it continues. Sunita ma'am, thank you for being so consistent. Yeah, it takes a lot of efforts. I know that. So thank you so much to all the teachers who have been so consistent. Thank you. बहुत सारी शुभकामनाएं आप सभी को. Thank you, Vandana ma'am. Okay, thank you. Happy and healthy New Year. Great. Radhika ma'am, thank you. Okay, thank you. Nandri. Oh, good. Happy last workshop, and we'll meet the next year. Yes, Kumari ma'am, you're right. Kumud ma'am. Thank you, Poonam ma'am, Kavita ma'am, Meenal ma'am, Sangeeta ma'am, Rabia ma'am. Good to see you over here. Happy New Year. Tamare ma'am, thank you. Happy New Year. Thank you so much. Kiran ma'am, thank you. Today I'll take proper time to at least reply everyone. If there is any comments, please put it on the reflection form, teachers. I'll reach out to everyone. Avinda Kumar, thank you so much. Pooja ma'am, thank you. Sudhanshu sir, thank you. Asha ma'am, Monisha ma'am, thank you. Happy teacher inside happy classroom. Sure, Rumisa ma'am, let's have it. Thank you. Shefali ma'am, thank you so much. There are no questions. Come on the last Sunday, do you really think I'm going to test you on how much did you learn? No, not at all. That's okay. I'm a good boy. Next Sunday, I'll not be good. Let's have some proper session with questions as well. Thank you. Thank you, Vatsala Devi ma'am. Thank you very much. Shilpa ma'am, thank you. We'll meet you in the new year. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Safia ma'am, Geeta ma'am. Thank you. Every Sunday I've been doing it. If there were 52 Sundays this year, then all the 52 Sundays we have touched. No, there won't be any test questions today. Thank you, Farisa ma'am. Thank you so much. Chalo, let's close. Let me continue the conversation with all of you through the reflection form. If there are any queries, put it over there and I shall reply. Happy last few days of 2024 and a very happy new year to one and all present over here, teachers. Great interacting with one and all. Keep motivating me like this. Bye, everyone.